Today we're going to do an experiment to test temperature and elasticity. We're going to find out if temperature affects elasticity, whether it be the freezing cold or the heat. What we're going to do is an experiment using rubber bands, and we're going to use the spring scale. Right here we've already set it up. If you try this experiment, set your spring scale up somewhere. This one, because I tested it, I tied it down because as you pull down, the spring scale is going to go flying up and it will fall off. So hopefully this will hold it on. Also, make sure that your lever is up to the top, because as you pull down on your spring scale with the rubber band, it's going to pull the lever down. And then it'll go back up, and this will be left to tell you where the tension in your rubber band, where it broke. So we're going to start. We already got our rubber bands from the freezer. We left them in there for 3 hours and 7 degrees Fahrenheit. We also have our rubber bands that were room temperature. They've been at 79.3 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 hours. So we're going to go ahead and get started quickly because we don't want the freezer ones to cool off. I also have a glove because this really hurts your hands. I did test it. So we want to make sure that we don't hurt ourselves. What we're doing is you put your rubber band on the spring scale and you're going to pull straight down. Try not to go and let it go up. You want it just to go straight down, and then you're going to check to see where the tension breaks. So this one was at 8 pounds of pressure, or almost 4 kilograms. These also have a screw cap, and sometimes the screw cap comes off. So before you go again, you want to check that. You want to write down in your notebook, if you're testing, you want to write down where the pressure, the tension, or the pressure that it stopped at or before it broke, so that you can do your experiment and get it all together. So I wrote down 8, or I have a helper writing down 8, and I'm going to go ahead and put it back up. Make sure that you put this up every time, the lever, so that you can begin again. So let's do our next rubber band. And that was another one. That was a little less. That was pounds of pressure, almost 6. So kilograms, it was a little more than 2. Each time you want to make sure that you reset your spring scale. That way you get an accurate measurement. We're doing our rubber bands that were left in the freezer for 3 hours at 7 degrees. This is why I have it tied, so it doesn't go flying off, or at least too far. That one was at a little bit past 3 kilograms, so it was the one line after it. Now that we've already tested all 10 of our frozen rubber bands, or our rubber bands that were in the freezer for 3 hours, we're going to test our room temperature rubber bands. So these were at 79.3 degrees for 3 hours. So this one was about 4 kilograms. I'm going to reset it. Now we popped the top off, so I have to fix that. when the spring comes up, sometimes the top comes off. The pressure inside the spring shoots up and pushes it out. We'll do a couple more like this, and then when the ones in the oven are ready, we'll get those. Set it up straight. Oh, and remember, we have to fix the leveler, put it up to the top again. I think that one was a little defective because it ended up at 2 kilograms, which is about 4 pounds of pressure. And that one was about 4 kilograms. That one was about 5 kilograms. Oh, set it. That one was about 6. Now we're back, and we tested all of our rubber bands from the freezer, and we tested all of our rubber bands from the room temperature. We're going to test our rubber bands from the oven. They were at 170 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 hours. So we're going to see how they fare as far as the tension and what it takes to break them. Remember, we have our leveler up so we can check it. That one was about 2 kilograms. That one was 3 kilograms. It was actually 3.5 kilograms. Let's fix the lid again. That was going to happen. That time it was at 2.5 kilograms. Sorry about this. I know it takes a little while to get it back together. There we go. Oops. Unfortunately, when I tried this before, it flew all the way off every time. So I decided to tie it to the fence. That one was 2.5 pounds of pressure. I mean kilograms. Oh, and that was about 1.5. So today we tested our rubber bands to see how much tension that they would take according to what temperature they were put in. Our frozen rubber bands, our room temperature rubber bands, and our heated rubber bands from the oven. So what we found is that our room temperature rubber bands could withstand the most tension. Our ones in the freezer for 3 hours could withstand the next higher amount of tension, and our heated rubber bands could withstand the least amount of tension. In other words, they broke much easier and much quicker. They couldn't take as much tension on the spring scale. This was our experiment today, and if you do this, remember, have fun with it. You can try it in different temperatures. You can try it with different size rubber bands. You can do whatever you want. Just make sure to reset your scale every time and to wear a glove because it really hurts. Thank you.